Cuckoo. Hi everybody and welcome back to Cheza Cheza. So the next thing we want to do is create a scene for our monsters. We have some monsters in the game that are going to be attacking Amani as she traverses the levels. So go ahead and create a new scene, and on this scene add a kinematic body 2D like that, and just below it, as children of kinematic 2D, add sprite, animation player, and of course a collision shape 2D. Remember, we want to have it as a rectangle shape. So go ahead and select new rectangle shape 2D. The next thing we want to do is set the collision properties for our enemy here, or for our monsters here. So go ahead and click on collision object 2D, collision, and the layer we want is going to be the layer for enemies. So go ahead and deselect layer 1 and select layer 3. And then the mask now is we want our monster here to be able to interact with the player, to be able to interact with the environment, and finally to be able to interact with uh, other enemies. So, but we don't want our monster to be able to collect our coins. So leave layer number 4 unselected. So go ahead and change the name of our kinematic body 2D here. Double click on it and we're going to call it monster. The next thing we want to do is go into our assets folder here and open the folder that says monster, and we have slime and slime dead.png. So click on sprite and drag slime into the texture property. So our slime monster here has 25 frames for animating it. So we're going to go into animation here, and as you can see, our frames are arranged vertically. So go ahead and leave horizontal frames at 1. Vertical frames, we're going to send them all the way up to 25. Then we're going to click on our collision shape 2D here, and we want to make this, to drag our blue square here such that it covers most of our monster. Next, we want to create an animation for our slime. So go ahead and click on animation and say new animation, and we're just going to call this animation slime. Click OK. So for the length, remember we have 25 frames, so let's set it at 2.4 seconds, and let step remain at 1. Go ahead and select sprite, and again here where it says frame, make sure that it's on frame 0, and click on the key icon at the end of the frame property, just like so, and say create, and go ahead and click on the key such that the frames automatically increment, and we want to click on the key all the way to frame number 24. So our animation is going to be a looping animation. So go ahead and enable auto looping, and also we want to set our animation to automatically play when the slime monster is loaded into the level. So go ahead and enable autoplay like that, and then now after all those settings, we can go ahead and hide our collision shape 2D and click on play to see how our animation plays. The next thing that we're going to do is now create a new animation for when Amani pounces on the monster and the monster dies. So we're going to go ahead and click on animation, say new animation, and for this animation we're going to call it dead. And for our sprite here, what we want to do is now go back into the folder called monster, and this slime dead is what we want to drag into our texture property here, like that. So again, it has 25 frames, and we want to set our frames back to 0 and have our blue line all the way back at 0. So for our dead animation, since it's 25 frames, we want it to be 2.4 seconds long, and the step again to be 1. So for that, we want to go ahead and click on the key icon next to the frame property, like so, and say create. So go ahead and click the key icon such that it auto increments all the way up to frame number 24. Unlike our other animation for our monster, this one will not be a looping animation. It's going to play once, just once, when the monster is dead. And also, we don't want to enable autoplay. So for purposes of viewing our animation, we can go ahead and enable looping, but we're going to remember to disable it before saving our scene. So enable looping and click on play. Yeah, go ahead and click stop, and then we're going to disable looping. So with that, we want to save our monster scene. So go to scene, say save scene, and again, it's make sure you're in the scenes folder, and we're just going to call it monster.tsn and click on save. So that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like the video. Also, if you'd like to see more content coming up, please subscribe. And lastly, if you have friends that you think would enjoy learning about game development, please share this video with them. I'd be really appreciative if this tutorial got to as many aspiring developers as possible. Thank you, and see you in the next one.